they're afraid that Russia is going to bypass the Geneva communique that stipulate the withdrawal or that Assad is not part of any peace talks, and the Russians are going to keep him in the power until the 2021 presidential elections in Syria. And the second reason is that they want, according to the Geneva communique, the release of all prisoners in addition to the lifting the siege on the besieged areas. Now, you have to bear in mind that these opposition groups are not completely united, and they've used this before as a kind of maneuver or a tactic, and they changed their mind at the last minute. Now, in the past few days, I've been to Idlib city, and I went there to assess the mood of the people there about the news coming about Sochi talks, and it seems it's not likely to surprise anybody there. Idlib city is one of the last strongholds of the anti-Assad forces. It was included in the de-escalation deal struck a few weeks ago in Astana. Syrians here want peace, but are skeptical.
I feel like Syria has been partitioned. The proclamations of the regime, the latest case scenarios assures that the country is divided between the regime, Russia, Iran, and this region for the refugees.
Russia has recently declared it's pulling its troops out of Syria. But other reports say that it intends to expand its military base in Tartus. The people we've spoken to do not have much hope for peace talks. They have more pressing concerns like keeping their families safe, fed and warm. They have even less faith in Russia's motives. Questions remain about the extent of Moscow's troop withdrawal, and the feeling here is that the Kremlin's influence on Syria will only get stronger. Peace is being negotiated far away from Syria, and the failure of these negotiations has been felt here on the ground.
We've run away from the regime's areas to find safety, but we're still concerned and afraid. We'd love to live our normal life, but we cannot because we're simply afraid.
They've said they will withdraw thousands of times. It's all lies. We've seen nothing on the ground. Nothing is happening.
The black was the dominant color on the Syrian map. Now it's replaced by the yellow color that represents the Kurd, and we found ourselves confined.
Almost nearly half of Syria's population has been uprooted by this conflict, which is entering its 8th year. Idlib is currently held by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, a powerful military group formerly known as the Al-Nusra Front. They're heavily armed and are still holding out against Assad's forces.
In fact, this tragedy will never end until this murderer and his regime are taken to the International Criminal Court. If they were really looking for a solution, they would have come up with one. A criminal who killed his people, used chemical weapons. The solution is clear, but they're not interested.
The makeup of the Syrian opposition is complex, and how the nation will be governed in the future is by no means clear. What is plain here is that ordinary citizens want the killing to stop so they can have a chance at a normal life. The regime attacked one of the suburbs, Jarzinar, of Idlib, and killed almost 14 people. And that's why, as you've seen in the report, the people have great skepticism and doubt about the coming negotiation, whether in Sochi or any other place thousands of miles away from Syria. They do have more pressing concerns on the ground, like keeping their families safe, fed and warm, and they do not have trust in the Russians' motives on the ground, and they think that all these talks are going just to boost the potential of the Assad to be in power again and again till the coming election. And that's the main problem they have. Assad is the crux of the whole issue. If he stays in power, according to the rebel groups on the ground and the civilians, there will be more problems and the violence will not stop. So the main issue for them is Assad should not be part of any political transition, as many of the people we've talked to told us.